conversion day yet again, and today we're taking a look at this. I know that overseas these Hot Wheels flip fighters or stunt cars are available in more generic forms. Unfortunately, and they're really cool, and there's been a couple of guys on like the 40K Orcs Facebook feed that have started doing conversions, done some cool stuff with those. In America, those are impossible to find. However, we do have this Marvel series of these all plastic Hot Wheels, right about the right scale cars, and the Hulk one in particular is very orky. So I'm going to convert this guy up into the rivet gun equipped SnazzWagon and see how it goes. So stay tuned. Okay, so we've got this opened, and the first thing we notice is that like any actual toy, the wheels work just fine. So the way this thing works is it's got this little lever down here that locks in, and then you pull it back, and then it goes, and then somehow it flips. I don't know if it rams or anything. I've yet to actually get them to work the way they're supposed to. I think you have to hit them real hard for this flip to go. Anyways, so we could leave this. That would be fine. I kind of want to get at the guts inside of this and maybe reorient the wheels a little bit. I definitely want to glue these wheels down, so I'm going to crack this guy open and see what's inside it. Alright, so I think I figured out at least one thing. The main thing this guy needs is going to be a really beefy engine to have the really big exhaust to be the flamer attack, BoostaBlasta or whatever it's called that this guy has. I really should look up these names since, I'm going to be playing Orcs again. And then he also needs the rivet cannon that's going to go on the top. And I think I found what I like. I like the back of this for the rivet cannon because it has these really large bullets that go into this fairly mechanical array. And I actually think this might make a really good top for an engine that I can put pipes coming out the sides, just regular plastic art pipe. And so let's see how that works. I want to cut this right along the seam of this right here. Let's clear out our working space a little bit. Always work with a clear working space. Wow, look at that. It just goes. It's fairly brittle plastic. It just kind of goes right on through. Boink. I think that's about the perfect scale for the rivet cannon. So all I need is just a barrel, and the rivet cannon has kind of a short barrel, so I'll use a plastic art pipe and then cover up these gaps and then figure out a mounting assembly for that. And then I think I'm going to do basically that. And so what I need to do, I'm going to have to either cut this way, fit against that body, or cut the body away. I think, play it safe, I'm going to cut this. The other option I could do is I could cut a piece of flat plastic card to kind of mount this on top of. And that would have the advantage of, since I'm coming from the top, I could match this angle a lot easier, and then this would have a nice flush base mount to go off of. Yeah, That might be the way to go. The other thing I could do is I could actually just assemble this as is and then make it into a big meaty block engine, but I don't actually like that nearly as much. I like it more flush like this to kind of justify that maybe they can see over this engine. I'm not going to do anything extensive with the cab on this guy. I'm going to leave this closed. I think, you know, for the scale of this conversion, that's fine. I want this to be a fairly quick and easy conversion so that I can get this guy on the table. And, you know, eventually I'll buy the real buggy because they're amazing models. But I want to play test them first, and I don't want to spend a fortune doing that, which is one of the reasons why I do this. You know, this guy is $7. This whole kit of RoboGear was, you know, God, I can't remember. I think the starter set, which came with like a bunch of these robots and terrain, was $45, $50. And I've been using it for years and still haven't used it all. So, and then the pipe stuff, which I'll use for a little bit for helping with the exhausts, was a separate kit, but it was fairly cheap too, like in the $20 range for a full like scenery set. The scale's a little bit off and wonky, but for it works great. All right, so let's truck on. Okay, so there I've finished the plasticard touch-up work. It doesn't take a lot, just a little bit of extra stuff to break that look away from the original model. Got to remember, like a lot of the original Games Workshop builds, especially for the works, were just done scratch built with plasticard. That's one of the reasons why they have that kind of wedgy, like thick look. Anyways, so now to do the turret. Okay, so I've made a bit of progress. Taken a little bit farther with the custom plastic card work than I had originally intended. I wanted to keep this conversion simple, but it just kind of needed it. You know, I just wasn't happy with just the toys. It looked too much like toys glued on a toy. It's amazing what just a little bit of custom plastic card work can do to kind of sell it as something closer to a finished Warhammer figure or any other game. So yeah, I bent this stuff around. I added another small tube. Got some kind of radiator grill stuff going on. I might trim that a little bit more detailed. I'm not too concerned about it. These guys are kind of hemmed and hawed about, but in the end, I liked them enough to keep them. I'm going to put some outer ring stuff around the outside of these to kind of match up this look. And then I'll do some just orc plates, just little wedges along the sides of these, and then I'll start working on his ramming grill. I've looked at a couple of options for that. You know, I looked at, truck plates, and they're okay. Like this one's actually not too bad. If I bent the corners back a little bit, I think it would work pretty good. Some of them are just kind of out of scale. That one, if I put it on a couple of posts, would be okay, but I don't like that it's really flat and this is nice and curved. Plus the Kustom BoostaBlasta has that kind of like tusk thing going on. So actually I had these left over from another figure. I think it was a dinosaur, Triceratops, and I liked the way they looked, kind of sticking right in there. So what I'm going to probably do is do that and then add some plates and maybe some rings of spikes around these guys. Haven't really figured out exactly what, but still kind of playing around with that. Otherwise it's coming along pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Okay, so I've done all the riveting that I think I want to do, and I've done chipping and scoring pass. Added some bullet holes, added a couple of small details. These little bolt things popped off while I was chipping and scoring, and I did some plastic work there that I actually was much happier with. Feel a lot better about that front. Those little Frankenstein bolt things were kind of cool, but not as cool as that. So I could do a little bit more work, but I'm pretty much tired of working on this guy, so I'm going to call it and put this guy under the primer. Alright. And here we are, all primed up. Looking pretty happy with it. I ended up putting a faceplate of a Kilican on the turret. Give it a little bit more of that rounded element. Yeah. Hope you all enjoyed this. Hope it helps out on your custom builds. Feel free to let me know if you have any thoughts or ideas. Adios.